Hello, I'm Dr. Jennifer Degler, and welcome to Healthy Relationships RX, where we provide powerful prescriptions for successful relationships. And our topic in today's videos is talking to your child about sex. And this video in particular is the first in a series. And so today we're going to talk about talking to your preschooler about sex. And even if you think you haven't started to have the sex talk with your kids, you really have, because as a preschooler, when you're referring to your child's body, when you're referring to your own body, other people's bodies, if you make any sort of reference to people's sexual activity, then you are teaching your child about sex. And the more comfortable you are with your own body and your own body image, the more you can communicate to your child a healthy view of their own sexuality. And so one of the things we have to do with a parent is learn to get comfortable with our bodies, and in particular with saying the correct name of body parts. And we're so great as parents about saying, oh, what is this? That's my nose, and these are my ears, and this is my elbow. But then when we're talking to our preschooler about their genitalia, we all of a sudden freeze up and we start saying, well, that's your wee wee or your tallywhacker. Or for little girls, we say, well, down there, like we're referring to Australia. We don't use the real words for their genitalia. And so I want to encourage you, use the real words. They're not dirty words. It's okay to say penis, vagina, labia. Learn to say those. If you're uncomfortable with them, practice. I know I had to do that when I was in graduate school and I was learning to counsel people about their sex lives. That was one of my assignments that my professor gave me, was to go home and walk around the house and say over and over, penis, breast, vagina, until I became comfortable with saying those. As you can imagine, my husband really liked that particular homework assignment. But practice so that you get comfortable using those words with your child. Now, with a preschooler, you're teaching them the correct name for their body parts. And while you're doing that, you're also teaching them about modesty. And so you want to talk about, the parts of your body that are covered by a bathing suit. So that would be bathing suit trunks for a boy, or a little one piece for a girl, or a little bikini for a girl, that those are the parts of your body that are private. And that's teaching your child respect for their body. And you're teaching them that those are parts that are only to be touched and only to be viewed by yourself, by the child, by the parents. If there's something about those parts that they need to show their parents, maybe they're hurting somewhere in their genitalia, or by the doctor or the nurse. And then other than that, those are private areas. And you can tell your child, sometimes other little kids may say to you, I'll show you mine if you show me yours. And you can just tell them, if this happens, and a kid wants to play show and tell like that or play doctor, you just tell them, in our family, we don't do that those are our private parts. And so you're empowering your child to say no and to have respect for those parts of their body, and to know that they're entitled to privacy. You can also tell your child, if someone were ever to try and touch those private parts of your body, then you just yell, you scream, you make a fuss, you kick, you run away, and then you go tell your teacher if you're at school, or you come and tell me, you tell another adult. And it's important to let your child know, I'll never be angry at you because that happened. I will take care of that for you, and I will make sure that you're protected. And you can also let your child know, this is probably never going to happen to you, but we want to be prepared. Just like we wear seatbelts in a car, even though we're probably never going to be in a car accident, but we do that anyway. So you're trying to not alarm your child, you're just trying to equip your child, and you're teaching them about their right to say no, and to privacy, and for respect for the human body. One thing that's important that your child needs to know during this preschool time is that there are babies inside those mothers' wombs, because they're going to be seeing probably a lot of pregnant women. It may be in your family that your family's having another baby and you already have a preschooler, and they're very curious about this growing, how mommy's growing, or you've got friends who are pregnant. And so try to not tell your child that the baby's growing in the mommy's tummy, because your tummy is actually where food is digested. You can tell them instead there's a special place inside a woman's body for a baby to grow, and it's called a womb. And that's where the baby grows. And the baby will grow there for about 9.5 months. Or lots of preschoolers, they have no conception of time. So you can just tell them the baby grows there a long time. And then when the baby's ready to come out, it comes out in between the mother's legs through a special opening called a vagina. And your child may want to know if she also, if a mommy pees through that opening, you can let them know, actually, mommies have several openings. Mommies have an opening to pee out of, and they also have an opening called a vagina that a baby comes out of, and it stretches to allow that baby to come out. And most children absorb this information really easily. They're kind of like, oh, okay. Sort of like you told them, this is how something works, and they're usually not horrified or shocked by that. And that's something important for your preschooler to know. Not thinking that Santa Claus brings a baby or a stork brings a baby, but understanding that there are babies growing in these special places in women's bodies called a womb. And that communicates respect for human life. And if your child has other questions, the main thing is to just answer their questions honestly. Work on your poker face so that no matter what they say, you're good at looking like you're calm on the outside, even if on the inside you're kind of uncomfortable. In our next video, we're going to talk about talking to your child, your elementary age child, about sex and answering that all-important question. So how does that baby get in the womb? The big question. I'm Dr. Jennifer Degler, and this has been Healthy Relationships RX.